Hey gang, it's your GM Drakeen here with another homebrew. Today we'll be talking about magic weapons, primarily those jumping into the campaign. You're starting wealth. You get 750 gold pieces to spend on all your gear. So we're going to be talking about some possible magic weapons you could buy with that 750 gold or part of it as part of your gear. I opted not to use these other options because there's such disparity in the prices between uncommon and rare items. And these prices come straight from the Sane Magic Price Guide. You guys can Google it online. I'll show you it here actually. So this is a PDF put together, I guess, by some DMs. I'm not going to get into the explanation of it, but it starts out with consumables. These are sort of one-use kind of things, but we'll jump up to the combat items here, and what you see right here at the top of the list, and these prices are the lowest, cheapest to the more expensive things. Um, right away, you see plus one weapon is 1,000. So even with the 750 gold you would start with, and again, I give the maximum amount from the Dungeon Master Guide. You won't be starting with a plus one weapon. That's the bad news. But there's a lot of actually much less expensive items which you can afford. Vicious weapons actually are pretty good. There's a slight change here in my campaign. Adamantine is a little more rare than Mithril. So Mithril's actually 500. Adamantine is 800. But apart from that, everything else here is pretty standard. And you can see rarity really doesn't matter. A very rare dancing sword is 2,000. Uncommon pipe of the sewers is 2,000. So rarity really doesn't mean a lot. It's more about how much something is worth. And a lot of things, there's some things that people would just never sell to you because of, you know, they're valued as sort of priceless. But let's get into this actually. So right top of the list items, Moontouch Sword came out in Xanathars, and on the price guide it said it's 150 gold. Uh, this really changed the game, I thought, because you know, really, artificers and hexblades could create their own magic item. And this item is a pretty inexpensive item to purchase. It also allowed you to see in the dark if you didn't have dark vision, which is nice. Now, it only applied to sword, and I added dagger to this list, and this is the base price is 150 gold, so you add the cost of a dagger, which would be 2 gold, so 152 gold, you know. Um, Double-bladed scimitar is 100 gold, so that would be 250 gold for a moon touch double-bladed scimitar. Great sword, you get the idea. 200 gold. So just swords for moon touch. I created items similar to moon touch items called ember items. These are, the same thing. The light is a little less. It's 10 feet by 10. Moon touch is 15 by 15. But you get the idea. Allows you to see in the dark. Um, Very similar to Moon Touch. Same price, 150 gold pieces base. Then you add the cost of the item, which gives you these numbers down here. Wayfinder, another item which actually produces light, but this is a very dim kind of light. This is if you're maybe a rogue, maybe you're not trying to advertise. If you use a bright light, you can see it from pretty far away. Um, so this allows you, sort of a dim light, if you need to be able to see, but you don't want to advertise. Also allows you to tell which way is north. Battle worn weapons, another magical weapon for, and again, I wanted to get some variety in here for my players so they could choose, different types of items to start out with. Um, there's a big issue with Acerak and the Soulmonger in the campaign and bringing back undead. So these were sort of created to combat that. Battle-worn weapons, when a creature is killed with this weapon, allows it to cross over into the realm of the dead in peace. And like the Bless the Dead cantrip from Kobold Press, you might be familiar with. And these dead cannot be brought back as undead. Deep water weapons, these allow you to breathe underwater for like 5 minutes. before, the onset of asphyxiation. These are underwater weapons. All these can be used underwater without penalty. These are a little less common halfling swords passed down through the centuries from halfling owners, and some of the influence still lingers. So once per long rest, you can use the lucky trait. You can use luck and reroll a 1. And I've seen this used by one of my players to great effect. How many times you're going to roll a 1 during a session anyway? Hopefully only once, right? Valkyrie weapons, same thing, another base 200 gold piece item. These provide you an advantage versus a fear effect once per long rest. Very simple, you know. And these are the different weapons for that. Now this was from the Sane Magic price guide. Vicious weapons. Now these really, you're getting probably the most bang for your buck. They deal an additional 7 damage on a natural 20. So you're doubling your damage dice plus adding 7 to whatever you roll. That's a lot of damage. Why they price these at 350, I don't know, but I think they're worth actually a lot more. And I think last but not least, mithril weapons. So I get into the properties of mithril weapons in another video, so I'm not going to read everything here, but give you an example. Okay, what's a mithril dagger? They're very light, so mithril, like thrown weapons, can be thrown out to long range without suffering disadvantage. So mithril dagger be thrown out to 60 feet, no penalty, no disadvantage. Same thing with mithril dart, mithril javelin, so on. A mithril rapier, since it would be considered light, and I get into the details in other videos, so I'm not going to go into all of it here. So if you wanted to, use a light weapon, a mithril rapier would definitely qualify. And last, these are some other sort of miscellaneous weapons. Some of these are obviously from Xanathar, as you guys have seen. Now, in my campaign, staff counts as a quarter staff, so you could actually use, any of these staves as a weapon or a magic weapon to swing on somebody with. Okay, these are pretty obvious. Returning dagger. Dagger of Sustenance provides food for once per long rest. Healing dagger, healing once per long rest. Latchkey, I think it allows you to pick locks, maybe once per long rest. I'm not exactly sure on that. And wands also actually count as magic weapons. They would count as a magic club. And basically, I think everyone is proficient in club and my games, even wizards or something. So you could use that as a magic weapon. So yeah, I think that's everything. These are my games. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm going to do another video on magic armor. We definitely need people for Rhyme, Tomb, and I think I will be coming out with a video about Out of the Abyss, about the content for that, so people can know more about that. Hope to see you at the gaming table. Please like and subscribe. Take care.